Hi, I'm Nick Neem. Welcome back to Nick Neem versus the World. Today, you will love what today is. As I record this, it's the 28th of June. Very special day. It is International Caps Lock Day and International Body Piercing Day. So, 28th of June, International Caps Lock Day. Now, actually, I just went out and got a coffee this morning, and I have a vaporizer. I used to smoke for a long time, and this lady stared at me as I was taking a drag on my vaporizer, staring at me like I'd just set her house on fire. And I thought to myself, you ungrateful lady, how dare you? Ever since COVID happened, people are watching you on the street if you cough or if you're smoking, having a cigarette or vaping or whatever. And the death stare you get from people, they're just like, how dare you? You evil person, smoking in public, how dare you? Well, it's my community service, so you know where I'm breathing. So you should be thanking me for showing you where not to walk or where not to breathe in. How dare you? How dare you not thank me? So if you're ever wondering, walking around, oh, where should I walk? Where should I not walk? If someone's vaping, you know, okay, cool. That's where they're breathing. I won't walk there. Now, people who don't vape and don't smoke, you don't know where they're breathing. How can you trust them? You can't. So thank you to everyone who lights up that cigarette, inhales that vape, lights up that Marley. You are doing a service for the rest of the world. Just remember that. On International Caps Lock Day, hit the caps lock button and type that down. Now, I was just talking with a friend of mine online. He asked me any recommendations for a new laptop, not a Mac. My response was, PCs are a cancer on society and I cannot recommend any of them. That and I have no idea. So yeah, showing my allegiance there. I'm a Mac person through and through. Have been for a long time. PCs, I have no fucking idea. They're just, I don't know, piss poor components put together in a piss poor arrangement, hoping that they're actually going to work. Buy a Mac, it goes. If it doesn't go, take it in. If it doesn't work when you take it in, they replace it. If you've got it under warranty, make sure you always have something under warranty. But that said, I've had Macs that have lasted, 5-6 years, and I haven't had to do anything to them. So I guess, just don't pour wine or a drink on your laptop like a lot of people do. Okay, today's interesting person that I really want to talk about is a guy called Peter Thiel. Now, Peter Thiel, if you don't know, he's a billionaire. He and Elon Musk created PayPal together. And then they sold it, made a lot of money. They went on and did other projects, yada, yada, yada. So Peter Thiel, he is a billionaire. I was going to say Republican. He is a Republican now, but he wasn't really into politics for a long time. He is now. He, in 2011, and this is the tricky thing. In 2011, he became a citizen of New Zealand. He's originally a German citizen and then an American citizen as well. He bought his citizenship in New Zealand with the promise of contributing money towards Xero, which is the accountancy software, and also I think it was Pacific Fibre, which is a fibre optic cable between New Zealand and Australia. Normally, special grounds are given to people when he doesn't live in New Zealand. Never has, never intends to. Unless the Supreme Court changes things in the future in America, we'll see. He doesn't live here. He has a residence here. He owns, hectares of property down on the South Island. And the government at the time gave him citizenship, even though he didn't meet the requirements for it because, on condition of it's not safe to live in his home country or he's fleeing in a refugee status. He basically met the criteria because he had a bunch of rich mates recommend their other rich mate to come and live in New Zealand. So it goes to show that money can't buy you love, but it can certainly buy you citizenship in nice countries that are far away from America if the apocalypse happens. So that I'm not super stoked about, but rich people getting things that, poor people can't have just because they don't have $1 billion in the bank. $1 billion in the bank. Okay, let's back up a little bit here. So, 2011, his citizenship, he invested in some things. New York Times, quote, being a billionaire gets you special treatment, unquote. That's what part of an article they wrote on reflection of something that was in the New Zealand Herald when they had commented on him getting his citizenship in 2011. So, yes, he can be a big help to New Zealand. He can move our country forward. He can do great things for us. But billionaires kind of do what they want to do to benefit them in their process. They're not really keen on helping everyone else, but whatever helps them. Now, something that is interesting that I actually never knew, and it doesn't really change anything, it's just an interesting thing to note. I didn't realize that a long time ago, Gawker, which was an online publication, outed him for being gay in 2007. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. Nowadays, he's quite the Republican donor and quite interested in Republican Party politics and all that sort of stuff. We know also that Judge Clarence Thomas, who sits on the Supreme Court in America, he's a bit of a right-leaning kind of dude and, into those sorts of things. Peter Thiel might want to leave the United States soon because Peter Thiel is married to his husband. Now, if Judge Clarence gets his way, he may be reviewing the legality of the rights of gay marriage in America. I mean, not only that is gay marriage, there's the right to contraceptive drugs, and also to sodomy, gay sex. Apparently, you've got to earn that right. Anyway, so Judge Thomas, Clarence Thomas, if anybody brings up a case and then it goes to the Supreme Court will most probably hear it and consider if it's a right, the whole gay marriage thing. I'm pretty sure that Peter Thiel won't be happy about that. Now, the conflict of interest here is you've got two people on the Republican side of the world. One of them seems to be taking them back to the medieval or Stone Ages, while the other one wants to lead them to the future. How do you balance those two out? Anyway, so Obergefell versus Hodges in 2015 is the court case of same-sex couples could marry. That's when they won the right to do that. My takeaway from this is, I'm so glad I just don't live in America at the moment. Now, not to rain on the parade of people who are Americans. I know lots of really good American people, but it just seems that life is getting a little bit harder for people at the moment. Women are, technically a second-class citizen now, obviously except for certain states that don't ban abortion. It may become harder for people to have their rights if they're in a gay marriage. It may be harder for people to find contraceptive drugs or resources. I mean, there's something behind the scenes here, and I certainly feel that what's behind the scenes is evangelical Christian leaders influencing the decisions on the American people. Now, the American people are made up of many different cultures and many different religions and many different trains of thoughts. They're both people that are religious and people that are non-religious. To impose such sweeping rights removals against so many people from so many different backgrounds seems a bit egregious. And I can only hope and wish the best for American people that at some point, they get to earn those rights back. Yeah, unsafe abortion is the last thing we want to see people having to try and perform, because it will risk not only the child's life but also the mother's life as well. Oh, international caps lock. Caps lock, oh my gosh, what's happening in America? Okay, so the interesting person of the day, that was Peter Thiel. I want to talk to you about something, an interesting event. And maybe this happens to a lot of you on a regular basis. I'm just going to say it because I don't know if anyone else really is. I hope you're ready for this. Traffic is shit. Driving your car anywhere in a populated city, anywhere, is shit. And I'm almost considering just taking the bus again so I don't have to deal with the amount of stupid actions that people do. We have, close to where I live, we have 2 lanes merge into one, and it's 60 kilometers an hour as you come into this 2 lanes merging. And, they're from different, one's far left, one's far right. They merge together like a Y into one lane. As you're driving into this merge, sometimes people behind you, so not in the other lane merging, behind you, will overtake and then get in front of you. And it's the insanity of it is, why the fuck would you do that? You're just going to sit in front of me in traffic, and you're probably not going to get as many advantages to get to work quicker. So why the fuck did you do it? It just, it irritates me. But you try and sit in your car and you go, I'm okay. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to say anything. Because you don't know who that person is in the car in front of you. But you're just blown away by the fact that they just decided that I don't need any road rules and I'm behind you, I need to be in front of you. That's just the way it is. Equally, now I go the speed limit. I'm not one of these slow drivers. Equally, one night I was coming home from the supermarket and there was someone in front of me. There's this road and you can't overtake people. There's just no chance to do it. 50 kilometer per hour zone, and the person in front of you is doing 35. Clearly displaying that they're either incapable of driving, their competency level is below, below. Either they're preoccupied or they're just a fucking asshole. You are the scum of the earth. I put you in the same category as people who looked sideways and nastily at cigarette smokers and vapors. Come on, guys, just get up to the speed limit. I mean, maybe if it's 48 kilometers an hour, it's forgivable. But when you're doing like 35, 15 kilometers an hour less, and everyone behind you is losing their mind, reminds me of Dennis Leary's song, I'm an Asshole. I drive real slow in the ultra-fast lane while everyone behind me is going insane. I'm an asshole, yo, yo, yo. That was a great song. Again, if you're 30 or younger, you'll have no idea what that song is. Maybe you have found out. Anyway, I love that song. Dennis Leary, there's an interesting comedic act from a long time ago. I wonder what he's up to these days. I haven't seen him for a hot minute. Lol totes. Oh, and there goes the fridge. Yes, I got a fridge in my recording room. Hopefully you can't hear it. It shouldn't be too loud. And the last topic I want to talk about today is, will we ever live on Mars? So there's a lot of promise that we've been having from seeing SpaceX getting astronauts back up into outer space, people wanting to go back onto the moon. The cost of actually getting people into space is decreasing. All of these really promising and interesting things that are happening. Now, once we get to, say we have people on the moon, that's pretty cool. But once we have people on Mars, the mindset of people on Mars is going to be very different from that of people on Earth. People on Mars have been sent there because they have education and skills and scientific ability to not only get things started, but exist, stay, and live there for long periods. So, are people who go to Mars going to have a list of requirements that makes it more easy for them not to piss off their workmates? So would you say that then people who are going to Mars might not have a religious inclination, or might not be from different countries? Would they be, say if SpaceX, NASA put a team up and they send a team of 10 people to Mars, those people have to get on with each other. And the more things that those people have in different to one another are the things that could turn that scientific trip into a catastrophe. Catastrophe. There's your word for the day. So I wonder, now life, if you go through the Christian view of how life evolved on Earth, or creationism and those sorts of things, and Genesis, God created Earth and then he created everything else later on. Well, on Mars, there's no human history. There's no human examples of religious sort of, Genesis beginning points. So is religion then almost unnecessary on Mars because it doesn't make sense anymore? I mean, you think about it, all of the, like Mecca and all of the special places around the world where people of religions will congregate. All of those things and all of those histories were all generated here on Earth. And so the perception I have is that religion, as it seems for humans, is an earthbound concept. When you're on Mars, there's none of that history, there's none of those Meccas, there's none of the origin stories and those sorts of things. The people who went there with scientific endeavors, aided by technology, and also they're probably, money's probably going to be an interesting thing up there because there's no use for it. It's not like you can pop down to the dairy and go get yourself a Coke. Money might not have the same meaning up there. It may be more of a socialist economy, or a green dollar economy, or maybe just do your job and stay alive kind of economy. I'm not too sure. But the people that get sent there are going to have to be extremely professional. They're going to have to endure long stays without the niceties of human life that we have down here. They will also be forging what will be the future history of humans on another planet. So, in effect, the first days or the first things or the first of everything on Mars are the things that will help rewrite human history. And for us being hopefully an interplanetary and then one day intergalactic race. I didn't realize how big a topic that might be until I kind of thought, wow, there are so many firsts that we're yet to experience there. How will this rewrite our history? That's my interesting thought for the day. I didn't think I was going to get that deep into it. And now my mind hurts a little bit. If you really love what I'm doing and you want to help support me, one of the best things you can do is head on over to Patreon. The link is in the description below. There you can support me with an annual subscription if you choose. There is the one place that you can actually communicate with me, and if you have interests in the same areas or you want to recommend a topic for me to talk about, that's the place to do it. I try and stay away from comment sections and other places because you just get awash with all sorts of random feedback, positive and negative. Nobody likes the negative stuff, although it is quite interesting, but please don't put negative comments. Thank you very much. I'm Nick Neem. I'll catch you in the next one.